You've caught up on a lot this past year. Found your center, binge-watched 8 seasons of your favorite show, finally wrapped up that honey-do list, and even reconnected with the outdoors. Now, it's time to catch up on your health. If it's been a while since you've had your annual checkup or you've been putting off care, let's catch up soon. With 11 neighborhood health centers offering primary, specialty, and urgent care, at University of Utah Health, we're here for you.
Every career path starts with a single step. From a line cook,
order up,
to a Michelin star chef,
bon appetit,
a CNA, to a nursing director. Take your next step at jobs.ksl.com. Browse and filter opportunities according to the experience you have, whether you're looking for full or part-time work, and the company perks you want. Apply yourself. Move forward with KSL Jobs. Visit jobs.ksl.com today.
Your president is watching! America is watching! But more important, Godfather is watching! Make no mistake, there will be no fuck-ups! Marines around this world would give they left nuts to be where you are. Anybody not want to go? Marines, kill on 3. 1, 2, 3, kill!
The shudder round the world shook the earth with great resound. Lanterns lit, the riders fled to warn the farms and towns. The call to arms united them in grim determination. They vowed to see the eagle born and made their declaration. Honor-bound and bred, they stood as one in their defiance. A continental army raised on common man's alliance. For liberty, the fire, and the hearts of men did forge. The will to break their shackles free and shake them into swords. Machine with a hunger deep, I'll scorch the earth with a mighty shriek and a million full metal jacket teeth. You better believe that when the boot comes down, the blood I spill on the battleground will soak the earth until the wicked drown in the death I deal when the hate comes out. Born to the beating of the drums of war, shaped in the fire and valley forged, made and the enemy dies. When the barrel spits, the fire flies. Aim's on point and killing time, and I kill with a heart like Arctic ice.
I am a soldier and I'm marching on.
I am a soldier and I'm marching on.
I am a warrior, this is my song.
I am a warrior and this is my song. My boots are the beat and the rhythm I tread. Shake the ground like a thunderhead. Rain down in a hail of fire and lead, like a reverie running through my head. Here where the legends live and die, where the eagles scream and the reaper hides. Hell can't stop me, the devil tried, and I killed him twice in 45. Come to the nightmare, come to me. I'll grind your bones into crushing teeth. Serve to the swine that come to feast on the stink and the fear and the tears you'll weep. I'll flood the earth in a sea of brass and watch you burn in the fire's wrath. Pray to the devil that damned you last. The shadow of death is the one I cast. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. I am the fire, the sword and the gun. I am a warrior and this is my song.
Those of you who have not been at war do not realize what those of us who have been at war have done for you with our blood and your money. I want you to remember, the sacrifice that these men have made must not be in vain. Damn it, it's no fun to say to men that you love, go out and get killed. We've had to say it. And by God, they have gone. And they have won.
Now I live bleeding and I need to inflict the grief. And the least of me is still out of your reach. The killing machines coming out to feed on the lead and the fire and the gasoline. Bound by the blood of the ones who died, as well as the warriors at my side. Feel no fear, know my pride. For God and country I'll enjoy life. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. I am the fire, the sword and the gun. I am a warrior and this is my song. A war fire, I will keep marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. I am a mighty, a million as one. I am a warrior and this is my song. They stood against an empire born 1,000 years ago. But liberty or death, no less what every last man chose. They fought and died for better lives, uncertain what may come. As lions on the battlefield, till freedom had been won. Though cannonballs and musket rounds, explosions, cold and fire, will challenge their resolve, they raise their banner ever higher. And when the dust had settled, and the fighting finally ceased, an eagle lit up from the ash, and to this day, flies free.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cold War Radio live from studio number 1, which means we are out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this evening. I'm your host, Hutch Baillie Jr., deep down in the broadcast bunker. Hope you enjoyed that new version of the Warrior song. Found that last night. The best version I've heard so far. I still like George C. Scott, but that was the real General George S. Patton on that one. Please follow me on Spreaker, like the Facebook page, facebook.com/Cold War Radio 22, the email to the program, scrtv@live.com, the Cold War Radio patron hotline, 412-206-6208. If you'd like to join the show, if you're listening to the program via podcast, the voicemail is 412-567-1460. Keep it under 2 minutes or you'll have to send more than one voicemail. You can catch the podcast just about anywhere. If you go on Spreaker, ladies and gentlemen, they've changed things up a little bit. So if you go on Spreaker to try to find the show, it's under news, and then under the subcategory news commentary. And Cold War Radio is actually listed in the top 20. It's like number 18, I think, 18 or 17, something like that. So that's a good thing. Make sure if anybody's searching it, that's what you tell them to do. Go to news and then news commentary. You can catch the podcast streaming live every morning at 0800 Eastern Time on the 405media.com, John Grant's operation out of Los Angeles, California. You can also catch it on demand at iHeartRadio, iTunes, Apple Radio, whatever they call it, rdelephant.com. We have our interviews up there, most of them. You can get the Cold War Radio app, which is free, in your app store. You can also catch the show on YouTube, fully transcribed. That means it has captions, ladies and gentlemen. Go to SteelCityResistance.com and become a Cold War Radio patron. Also catch the research room, just a ton of information at your fingertips. If you go to the video page and you scroll to the episode you're looking for, the video clips of most of the audio that we play here on the program is listed on that page. If you'd like to write to the show, please write to Cold War Radio, P.O. Box 10433, 370, Castle Shannon Boulevard, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15234. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's traverse the turret and aim the main gun down to around the northern neck of Virginia. And let's welcome Jack to the program because it's Friday. Hello, Jack.
Hey, hello, Hutch. Oh, the chat room, the Spreaker chat room is going on fire right now. You got a beet borscht going on. You got wine being opened. And Crazy Rico, he puts it like this: cigars, scotch, and Cold War Radio. What can be better?
There you go, man. No doubt about it. We love our VFW. That's what we call our chat room, ladies and gentlemen. I've noticed lately, in the last couple weeks, we've got a lot more, some more followers on Spreaker. So I would just say to you, listen to the show for a couple weeks. If you enjoy it, go to SteelCityResistance.com, and in the right-hand column, there's a place where you can either become a Cold War Radio patron, which we're really looking for, or you can make a one-time donation. I don't like asking for money, but you got to do what you got to do. And we have a lot of things coming up in the future. We got CPAC coming up in February, and then we got the Republican National Convention coming up in the summer, and that's in South Carolina, so we're going to have to fly some people down there. So just think about it. Like I said, listen to the show first. I'm not trying to get any quick money, but, I mean, we do a consistent work here at the show. We're always on. We rarely miss, and it's a fun time, especially if you miss live.
That brings up one question. When is the last time that you had a fundraiser in a wine cave?
Right. You know, one of the things that prompted me to say what I just said was Rush Limbaugh was talking about that today. And he was talking about, he was like putting people down for asking for money. And I was like, man, it must be nice to be Rush. You know what I mean?
Yeah, must be nice. Solid gold microphone.
Right. I got the same microphone, but it's not solid gold. You know, but, you know, you're competing against 5,000 other people out there. You know what I mean? It's hard to get your little niche. But we seem to have gotten a real powerful one. I love you guys, man. You're all right. So what we were doing is, we had 26 patrons carrying the show on their back, and I said I wanted to get 40. I want to be able to give my co-host more and things like that. So we're up to 28, but if we get to 40, then I'm going to add another day. I don't know exactly how we're doing it. We're working through some things with Ward Miller as a associate producer, and it's not working the way we want, but we have a plan. If it doesn't, it's still going to happen. We're just going to have to do it a little differently. Let's go to the voicemail, and this is a message to all of you from A Radio.
You are listening to A Radio. I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish you, Hutch, and your colleagues, and all your listeners a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's going to be a better one for us all. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Well, thank you. I'm not going to use your real name because I don't know if you want me to, but A Radio, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and Merry Christmas back to you. You guys have got your challenges lined up in front of you.
Longtime listener to the North has his own podcast with some very nice thoughts from the land above us, you know.
Above us, yeah, okay. That's true, he does. Many episodes, too. Not real long, but they're out there and people listen to them, so that's good. We used to play them when we were doing the WHBJ thing. I'm not going to say that fell through, but we're just not ready for it at this time, so it's still there. It's out there. It's just on hiatus. Now, Jack, we recently had a Democrat debate, and of course I can't even watch these hearings anymore.
I took one for the team. I watched it last night.
Did you? Good. Well, then you're going to be the authority. But before we get to that, let's. I have the entire debate right here. Let's listen.
Let's make things interesting. If you look at the world and look at the problems, it's usually old people, usually old men, not getting out of the way. Senator Sanders, you are the oldest candidate on stage this evening.
And I'm white as well. Yes. But I wanted to get back to the issue of climate change for a moment, because I do believe this is the existential issue.
Senator, with all respect, this question is about race. Can you answer the question as it was asked?
If there are not any of our African-American brothers and sisters up here.
It's both an honor and disappointment to be the lone candidate of color on the stage tonight. I miss Kamala, I miss Corey, though I think Corey will be back.
I won't be on tonight's debate stage, but that's okay because I'm going to win this election anyway.
Senator Warren, you would be the oldest president ever inaugurated. I'd like you to weigh in as well.
I'd also be the youngest woman ever inaugurated.
If you get too many men alone and leave us alone for a while, we kind of become morons. Try putting together a coalition to bring you back to office with 80% of the vote as a gay dude in Mike Pence's Indiana.
If you had won in Indiana, that would be one thing. You tried and you lost by 20 points.
But let's talk.
I'm proud in on 100,000 selfies.
Thank you, Senator Warren.
Those selfies, no, I want to finish this. Those selfies cost nobody anything. When you do 100,000 selfies with people, you hear enough stories. So the mayor just recently had a fundraiser that was held in a wine cave full of crystals and served $900 a bottle wine. Billionaires in wine caves should not pick the next president of the United States.
I am literally the only person on this stage who's not a millionaire or a billionaire. This is the problem with issuing purity tests you cannot yourself pass. Senator, your net worth is 100 times mine. Now, supposing that you went home feeling the holiday spirit, I know this isn't likely, but stay with me.
I I do not sell access to my time. I don't do call time
Hold on a
with
second.
millionaires and billionaires.
Sorry, as of
I
when,
don't
Senator? Senator, your presidential campaign right now, as we speak, is funded in part by money you transferred, having raised it at those exact same big-ticket fundraisers you now denounce.
We'd like to bring everyone in. We'd like to bring everyone in. We'd like to bring everyone in, but Senator Klobuchar had your hand up first. We'd like to call on you.
I did not come here to listen to this argument.
Let's turn now to Afghanistan. Senior U.S. officials misled the public about the war in Afghanistan. As vice president, what did you know?
Afghanistan, you said?
Yes, sir, Afghanistan.
That's it.
But in the spirit of the season, I'd like to ask each one of you, is there someone else among these candidates that you have two options. One, a candidate from whom you would ask forgiveness for something maybe that was said tonight or another time, or a candidate to whom you would like to give a gift. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. Yang.
Wow.
Every career path starts with a single step. From a line cook, order up, to a Michelin star chef, bon appetit, a CNA, to a nursing director. Take your next step at jobs.ksl.com. Browse and filter opportunities according to the experience you have, whether you're looking for full or part-time work, and the company perks you want. Apply yourself. Move forward with KSL Jobs. Visit jobs.ksl.com today.
Plasma. It's critically important and currently in very short supply. Plasma donations are used to treat patients with chronic and life-threatening illnesses. Answer the call to help save a life, and you could make thousands of dollars by the holidays. Donate now at Grifols Biomat USA. To find the donation center nearest you, go to grifolsplasma.com. Answer the call, help save a life, get rewarded. Earn thousands of dollars by the holidays with Grifols Biomat USA.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. I mean, the thing that got me on that was the I don't know where I guess it's NPR. I mean, Judith Woodward or whatever that lady's name is, she sounds as bad as Biden. I mean, the pundits are getting old too, but Afghanistan, and Joe Biden was like, huh? F1? You mean Afghanistan? I love Joe's answer. Whoa, you mean Afghanistan? Yeah, Afghanistan. Unbelievable. These people are, they need to have more debates. I mean, they are, these people are, anybody that would vote for any of these people is insane.
It's painful. It was broadcast on CNN, but it was moderated by a team,
a little kid
between PBS and Politico, were the people asking the questions. And I'm telling you, they say Joe Biden did great. I'm telling you, he looked like you pulled him out of Gran Torino. He was the Clint Eastwood character. Get off my lawn.
Okay, boomer.
He was angry.
Oh yeah, of course he is. Yeah, that's him. That's his. His whole fake thing.
Yeah, he was looking for corn pops.
Yeah,
he's going to take him out and put chains to him or something.
I can't wait. Donald Trump, man, you got to do the debates. Yeah, one thing. You know what I was thinking? You know what he should? It's not an original thought either. I saw some people talking about this, but when Nancy Pelosi asked him to do the State of the Union, he should have said, "Yeah, but I'm going to do it at Heinz Field. I'm not doing it in camp." Yeah, we're not going to sit here in front of a bunch of communists and sit here and play the standing O and no clapping game. It's ridiculous. Nobody wants to see that. I've heard numbers. This stuff is really. This could be a serious culture changing election. It could be. I mean, the Trump campaign in 48 hours, and let me take that back. I'm not sure if it's the Trump campaign or the RNC. It's probably the RNC, which is the same thing. But 48 hours, small individual donations, $10 million since the Trump impeachment trial, or, the debate in the House, the 2 days where they, voted for the impeachment, $10 million. The spokesman, McDaniel from the RNC, said the RNC has never had this much money at this time in a campaign in RNC history. And money talks, man. In the United States of America, money talks. That's a poll.
And you have to ask it, and you don't, it's not even a difficult question to answer. Why? How did all of this happen for the RNC?
What'd you call Buttigieg?
They had Beetlejuice. I spelled it, but it's called booty juice. I just had, him.
That's foul,
and
man. That's foul.
Pocahontas.
That's foul. That's foul.
But
he's foul too. It's
I
appropriate.
just saw there was a cat fight going on last night between him and Pocahontas.
But listen why they're losing. Buttigieg commits to reparations for illegal aliens, not African Americans. Reparations
Say what?
for illegal aliens because we've been so mean to them.
Mayor Pete.
I guess. I can't help this. This is.
When's the last time he was back in his, South Bend, Indiana?
Yeah. I mean, a gay guy that won in Pence's Indiana. That guy. I hope he's on the stage. Oh, my word. Because hold on, Trump's going to say something.
He already calls him Alfred Newman.
He's going to say something. He's going to say something worse than that. He won't be able to help himself, I'm telling you. And the gay mafia is going to clutch their pearls, and the gay conservatives are going to laugh their asses off. You know what I mean? Because it's going to happen, guaranteed. Joe Biden's out there. The other thing is how many lies these people, every single one of them, has told. Joe Biden got out there and said that the middle class is not growing under Trump. And of course, nobody pushes back. No. Nobody says anything. They just let it go.
One of the most vibrant economies in the history of the United States, unemployment at record lows across many demographics, jobs open to people unemployed is the market is there. If you want a job, you can get one. But that's you have to be willing to do that.
I think Klobuchar, and she's a vile woman. I mean, she's you can tell that in the office it sucks to work for her, and people came out and said that already.
If you look,
go ahead.
If you look at some of the photos of Ukraine or some of the Arab Spring folks, where you see John McCain and Lindsey Graham there, with the people, one of the ladies present happens to be Klobuchar, Minnesota senator. There's a couple of photos. I think it was a Ukraine. Klobuchar, Graham, and McCain with the Ukrainian soldiers for a photo op. So, once you see that, it's like, okay, I know where she's coming from,
Yeah, no doubt about it. She said to Buttigieg that if you were a woman, your credentials would have never allowed you to be on the stage. And I'm thinking, well, it is a woman, ain't it? I mean, I'm confused.
They were pounding him, they were pounding him to nothing. And then the billionaire Steyer, he's like, I'm the one who first brought up impeachment. Hello, 2 years ago. And I'm like, no, that'd be the impeachment thing. It happened before he was inaugurated.
How do you become a billionaire and be so stupid, man?
I just don't know. Between him and Bloomberg, it's like
Bloomberg. I got some news on that guy. I didn't send it to you. I sent it to the Pittsburgh guys. You know that Bloomberg spent all kinds of money on Senator Pat Toomey's campaign? Republican
he sent a whole
Senator
bunch
Pat
of money
Toomey's
down
only because
Virginia.
of his gun grabbing, and the same with Virginia. It's all about gun grabbing, man. That's all this little dude wants. It's absolutely nuts. Man, we got a lot of stuff going on tonight. We have a guest coming up. We got all kinds of talk about food in the chat room, man, talking about borscht. I want to make that now.
I posted in there that I'm hangry, which means you're hungry, but you can't find something to eat because I'm doing a show, so I'm angry at the same time.
Oh, I hear you, man. I'm a very simple man. I like corned beef. I don't know if you like corned beef.
Corned beef and cabbage?
No, corned beef sandwiches. You know, like it's.
Oh, that's good too.
In Pittsburgh, we call it chipped, but in the rest of the country, it's called shaved. You know, it's sliced as thin as you can get it, as absolutely thin as you can get it. You know, you don't try to keep the integrity of the slices. You just pile it on.
You start chewing for a while if you.
Boy, good stuff. It's got to be good corned beef, though. Now, you start getting outside of my circle. You know, I've had some really horrible corned beef. I mean, it's you got to really finesse it for it to be good because it's made out of the brisket. It's made out of the toughest part on a steer is brisket. It's the chest muscles. You know, that's where corned beef comes from. That's where brisket comes from. And but man, when it's done right, good stuff. I like a Reuben with sauerkraut and, you know, Swiss cheese, Thousand Island, and grilled. But a cold corned beef sandwich, I take the corned beef and I just put coleslaw on it. You know, I put coleslaw on it and, you know, maybe a piece of Swiss cheese or maybe not. Maybe some Thousand Island, maybe not. But some rye bread. You get one of those loaves of rye bread that's shaped like a football, and you get those middle slices. It's only good for about 3 sandwiches. And then you can, you know, do whatever you want with the rest of the bread. But that you get those really big slices in the middle. Just absolutely delicious stuff. I had one of those before the show. Well, I'm old, man. I had it about 4:30. You know what I mean?
You can't eat after sunset. You know.
No, I can't. That gets in the way of everything else. You know, if you do that, you know, exercise, you know, that kind of stuff.
They exchange recipes in there. I mean, we've got the president, Rocky from the West Coast, bringing up some grilling things along with Ken from Virginia. I mean, and the ladies talking about their recipes from Oregon to Florida. This is a full, well-rounded, humble, and wholesome show. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Van Camp is a decorated Green Beret who attended and played football at West Point before earning his U.S. Army Ranger tab and Special Forces tab. He is the co-author of Deliberate Discomfort, How U.S. Special Operations Forces Overcome Fear and Dare to Win by Getting Comfortable Being Uncomfortable. What a concept. Mr. Van Camp, thank you very much for coming on Cold War Radio. I'm Hutch Baillie Jr., and my co-host Jack is in the northern neck of Virginia. I'm in Pittsburgh. Welcome to Cold War Radio, sir.
Well, hey, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on the show, guys.
No, it's an honor to have you here. I mean, Jack and I are both U.S. Army veterans. I did 35 years. He did a tour or 2. I don't know how many you did, Jack, but you did a lot.
I was in 12 and a half before they said, you're through, you know. My body gave out on me. But
so I'm very honored to have you on the program.
I love it. Now, were you guys infantry guys or engineers, or what did you guys do?
Go ahead, Jack. Mine's going to take a while.
Commo, transportation, and signal here.
And I retired as a CW4 promotable in equipment maintenance. And interestingly enough, I started as a track vehicle mechanic at Fort Benning in Bravo Company, 1st of the 29th Infantry, which supported the infantry school and the Ranger school. So I know a little bit about Ranger training, at least there at Harmony Church and Fort Benning, and we also had a platoon out at the mountain camp in Dahlonega, Georgia. But
there you go.
So I was basically in maintenance, but you know how the infantry is. If you're in maintenance, so does Jack. If you're in the infantry and maintenance, you're in the infantry. You just have a toolbox.
That's right.
You know. So you have a new book out.
True CW4, man. Put a quarter in, get a story out. You know.
There you go, man. You got to make sure you take your woman every day too. Your warrant officer mandatory afternoon nap. That's some important stuff. All right, so you have a new book out, and I'm really interested in this title because I've seen this activity. I've seen people do this, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I think that's an infantry thing that not a whole lot of other people have. Jason, explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so we believe in getting comfortable being uncomfortable is really the only way you can grow and you can improve and you can strengthen yourself in life. You know, in our society right now, unfortunately, we're teaching our kids the process of victimhood and indignation. You know, and what I really want to teach our kids and teach society is, hey, let's voluntarily, deliberately place ourselves in those uncomfortable situations where we're not confident, where we can grow and we can improve and we can get stronger because of it. And that's what our book is about.
Man, that's a serious concept, and that is something that is really needed in our society right now with our youth. They have everything handed. I mean, the whole idea of a college student, somebody between 18 and 24, whatever the demographic is, to ask for a safe space, man, we better never get in another war. You know, I mean, just think back and, for instance, during your Ranger training, I mean, half of that is starvation, you know, people eating grubs because there's nothing else. Now you have kids that are, you know, sneaking Hershey bars in their boots along or whatever to try to make it easier, and that's no way to be, if that makes any sense.
It does. It's crazy how things have kind of shifted in our society right now, where that's applauded, you know, and I've had several conversations with folks about this, and really what it comes down to is it's a process. And so you can't have somebody force you to do things, because people are going to rebel and they're not going to learn and they're not going to grow and improve. You have to voluntarily do it, you know, in order to really reap the benefits of what we're trying to teach. So as far as the safe space goes, you know, my initial reaction was, what a joke, you know, like having a safe space somewhere, having someone go to a safe space, you know, it doesn't make any sense to me. But the more I thought about it, the more conversations I've had with folks, it's kind of like, listen, for some people, they need that safe space. They need to start out there. But as long as they have the attitude of, I'm going to try to get out of this safe space as quickly as I can so I can take those slings and arrows and so I can get stronger and I can have those conversations with people that don't agree with me so I can hear their opinions and I can share my opinions, you know, I think that's a good thing. As long as they can move forward and get past that safe space as quickly as possible, I think that's okay. Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you something that I taught my kids, and I've been, like I said, I joined the Army in 1981. I got out in 2016, but I had 3 rules for my kids. And I said, you know, number 1 rule is life is not fair. Don't come back to me and telling me something's not fair and crying. Life is not fair. You got to accept that. You know? And I said, rule number 2 is nothing in life is free. Nothing. There's nothing in life that's free. And number 3, and I don't know if you'll relate to this because I don't know if they still have mess kits in the Army anymore, but I told my kids, never piss in your own mess kit. You know, in other words, you want to rob cars, don't do it on the street you live on. You know, but, you know, things like that. Let's talk a little bit about your book, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jack. 12 decorated combat veterans take you firsthand through the intense traumatic battles they fought and won, sharing lessons learned from those incredible challenges. Green Beret Jason Van Camp and a cadre of scientists further break down those experiences, translating them into digestible and relatable action items, showing the average person how they can apply them to their own lives. Now, action items is kind of a military term, ladies and gentlemen, and what it means is we're not going to just talk the talk, we're going to walk the walk, too.
That's right.
So talk a little bit about the book.
It's a leadership book. It's for businesses and a self-improvement book for individuals. That's really what we're talking about. And I always figured in order to be the best, you have to learn from the best. And who better to learn from than Special Forces heroes? And I'm going to call them heroes because heroes don't get a vote, man. That's how I look at it. And that's what people don't understand. You know, the title of the book is Deliberate Discomfort. And what I'm thinking is people don't understand that discomfort, it's not a negative thing. It's a positive thing. It's a growth mindset. And what we're trying to do at our company is to start a deliberate discomfort revolution. You know, too often we enjoy, go right ahead.
Yeah, what I'm getting at, if I could translate or move it towards the civilian side of it, it's more like a self-reliance deal. You know, we're not too far as a generation past where everyone was passed down basic survival or life experience skills to get through problem solving. You know, you're hit with this, you're hit with this, you're hit with this. It's not the end of the world situation. It is an opportunity to thrive and drive through a problem and come up with a solution and do it on your own. Don't look for anyone else to do this. You build your knowledge base. So I know it's a difficult leap for me to say between a civilian maybe just has something, our car breaks down and you can bring it back to life to get you from point A to point B, comparing it to what these folks, the Special Forces soldiers, do in combat. But if you break it down to the basics, it's a problem solving, understanding that you're going to embrace the suck, soldier on through, and come out the other side in a positive manner.
That's right. And it's about understanding that you're going to be afraid when you first start doing these things. Mm-hmm. But it's about doing it anyway. It's about saying, you know what, I'm going to overcome fear. I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm not confident, or this is the first time I've tried to do this, or whatever it may be. We've all been there. And when we've made that deliberate choice to look that fear in its eyes and say, I'm going to do it anyway, that's when we improve as people, as humans, as men. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's an awesome concept. So that book, I definitely would recommend it to our listeners to pick it up and get some positive motivation out here, because folks, you know, it could be just you against the world at certain things you're doing. Don't be afraid. Embrace that fear factor, and then come power on through and come up with your own solutions and succeed at it. You'd be amazed at what you can actually.
Who says opportunity only knocks once? There are thousands of local opportunities on KSL Jobs right now. Nearly 4,000 full-time positions, over 750 part-time possibilities, and hundreds more work-from-home occupations.
Bye-bye high heels, hello slippers.
Visit jobs.ksl.com to see what's available and answer with your application. KSL Jobs, local opportunities await.
It's hard to start saving when it seems like you have nothing left after your bills are paid. But now, you can start building your savings with Central Bank. Spare Change by Central Bank allows you to round up each debit card purchase to the nearest dollar and automatically turn spare change into savings. With Spare Change by Central Bank, your savings will grow quickly and without any hard work on your part. Learn more at cbutah.com.
Handle if you put yourself in the right positive mental attitude.
Very well said.
Now,
and you can pick up my book, Deliberate Discomfort, on Amazon or wherever books are sold right now. Order it. It's a great book. We're very, very proud of the book. He's got amazing stories, amazing chapters. And it'll be out officially on February 18th, 2020. And the name of the company is Mission 60. And you can find out more at mission60.com. And again, the book is Deliberate Discomfort, How U.S. Special Operations Forces Overcome Fear and Dare to Win by Getting Comfortable Being Uncomfortable.
Outstanding. I want to talk a little bit about your company and your website. But first, if you could give the audience just a couple teasers. There's some people that you guys have illustrated in your book. Medal of Honor recipient Leroy Petrie, Medal of Honor recipient Florent Groberg, and Marine Joey Jones. Give us a little snippet.
Well, we've got 12 guys on our Mission 60 team, veterans, and 12 chapters in the book. So each veteran focuses on a different chapter. So we've got, like you said, Leroy Petrie is a Medal of Honor recipient. The guy is one of the most humble, authentic people you ever meet. In Afghanistan, in a firefight with the Taliban, a grenade was thrown in his location in his trench. He picked up the grenade. He threw it away so he could save the lives of the guys in the trench with him. It blew his arm off, took a tourniquet off of his body armor, stopped the bleeding on his right arm, switched his rifle from his right arm to his left arm, continued fighting, defeated the Taliban, was shot through both of his legs twice, got his guys to safety, brought them back to the helicopter. I mean, absolutely unbelievable experience. And he, rightfully so, earned the Medal of Honor for his actions. And he talks about those experiences in intimate details in the book. Let's see, Flo Groberg is another Medal of Honor recipient. He tackled a suicide bomber. Steve Mueller, he's a Navy SEAL, a Green Beret, and an Army Ranger. He did all three. He's got a PhD in embracing the suck. He did the trifecta that no one has ever really done before. That we're not aware of anyone ever doing that before, except for him.
Explain what that is.
So he started out as a Navy SEAL, so he went through BUD/S and went through the Navy SEAL program, and so he earned his trident, and then he decided to get out of the military, out of the Navy. And 9/11 hit. He wanted to go back in the Navy, but this time as an officer, Navy SEAL. They wouldn't let him do it, so he said, well, I figure if you could be a SEAL, you could be a Ranger, you could be a Green Beret. So he tried out for the Rangers, joined the 75th Ranger Regiment after he earned his tab, and then when he was about 40 years old, he went and tried out for the Green Berets, and he made it, and he became a Green Beret.
Wow. That's That's a man's man.
Hard charger right there.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. I want to talk a little bit about warriorsrising.org.
Sure.
You're the chief executive officer of that operation, or executive director. What's your title?
I'm the executive director. So I founded this organization. It's a nonprofit, 501c3, and we help veterans in the most charitable way we know how, is helping them help themselves. And we do that by turning. Yeah.
So tell the audience what a veteranpreneur is.
So a veteranpreneur is a veteran entrepreneur. So it's a veteran business owner or veteran business creator. And we've kind of coined that term, veteranpreneur, and that's what we help create. We help veterans start or accelerate their own businesses. Now,
you've assisted in the success of several veterans businesses. Talk about that a little bit, because this is important to me, man. This is I'll tell you what, Jason, our chat room, there's people listening live right now, and there's a bunch of them in the chat room. Our chat room is called the VFW. That's the audience. You're talking to our people, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of veterans out there in all services.
Oh, I know. I love it. So veterans are my people, and I'm selfish about being selfless, if you know what I mean. So I've caught that service bug. We all catch it in the military, and it's kind of hard to kick once you're out because you want to continue serving in some capacity. And I wanted to serve my fellow veterans, and I wanted to help them do it on their own. So I see a lot of charities out there that, they kind of give a man a fish, and kind of as the old saying goes, he'll eat for a day, but if you teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with Warrior Rising. And we've been in business for 4 years, and we have 40 veterans signing up a week for our program. And we give education through Online Warrior Academy is what we call it. Translates the military operations order into a business plan, a business model.
Oh, outstanding!
Mentors. It's amazing what we've been able to do, and I'm so proud of it. And we have amazing people on our staff. We have mentors, and then we give financial assistance to guys, and grants, loans, investment opportunities. And then finally, we have a community, and so we have chapters. We call them platoons all over the country. And we just ask people to come. It's a free lunch. They get to hang out, network, talk about business, listen to a guest speaker, do a pitch competition. we do all sorts of really fun, engaging things with our guys, and we've raised close to $1 million this year, and hopefully we can raise twice as much next year.
Man, I'm feeling this. Do you have a media director or anything like that?
We have a chief marketing officer. Her name is Eliza Delgado, and she is fairly new to the organization. And if you want to help out and mentor, well, brother, we need it. We need help.
Well, I'll tell you what I want to do for you. I'll tell you what I want to do for you. I want to play a PSA for you. So if you guys develop a PSA, I'll play it every show.
Oh man,
you know
thank
what I mean?
you.
I mean, you're our people, man. I mean, you got a lot of support out there. Something that I wanted to ask you about because there's, I'll tell you that concept of taking an op order and converting it into a business plan is genius, man.
Yep.
Because before that it was like infantry guy, cop. That's your options: cop, jail guard, or whatever, right? But
that's right.
And it's so much more than that. The people in the military have done, we create cities in one day and sustain them for as long as we have to be there. So that's every single thing in a municipal government. We have that with 18-year-old kids doing half of it. But
that's right.
I noticed something on your website. You have a pop-up on there that comes up and says the 10 mistakes that veteran-owned businesses make.
Right.
Are you familiar with, what are a couple of the mistakes that veterans make when they try to start their own businesses? Is there anything that comes to mind? Or I just noticed it. I didn't click on the pop-up. I just saw it 3 times when I was going through it.
Yes,
Man, that's pretty important.
That's absolutely. That's an article that I wrote a few months ago for our website. It's intended really to inspire folks to sign up for our newsletter so we can collect their information and we can help them out and continue to put out a positive message to our veterans. But kind of what I've seen from the veteran community, one, I'll tell you, in the military, when we send out communication, email, phone call, what have you, we expect someone to return that immediately. In the civilian world, that's not necessarily the case. That's not how it goes. You send somebody an email or call somebody. Sometimes it takes a few days for them to get back to you. Honestly, sometimes a couple of weeks. And so a lot of guys just get really frustrated about that. And they feel offended and disrespected, and they feel somebody's blowing them off, and they have a bad attitude. And it's like, guys, listen. Just because I know in the military, if you don't respond by the end of the day, it's a slap in the face, right? You're messed up. So in the civilian world, guys, that's one thing that you got to take into consideration.
I got to tell you a story. I got to tell you a story related to that. A real quick one. I got back from Korea from the 2nd Infantry Division in 1985, and I only joined the Army in 1981. So I still, all the gangsters on the block were still there, and they were still my buddies. But I was back from the Army, and they would ask me, "Oh man, so what did you do in the Army?" And like a fool, I thought they really wanted to hear. You know what I mean? So I started telling them. And about 30 seconds in, everybody started looking at the girls, and they're looking around. They're not even paying attention to me anymore. And I'm thinking, whoa, I got offended. Now, I know about it now, but back then, I didn't realize that they couldn't relate to us. And that's right. That's the way it is, and it's something that you just have to absorb. Now, you also tell the people where they can connect with you. I see you have a Facebook page, Twitter account, and everything else, the website and whatever. Where can people get in touch with you, and how can they help?
Yeah, that's a great question. So social media has never really been my thing, but I'm making a really, concerted effort to get good at social media. And so I kind of launched some stuff 2 months ago on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, and you can kind of find out more if you're going to Jason Dank Camp or Warrior Rising or Mission 60. But if you want to learn more, all of our information is on our website, mission60.com or warriorrising.org. And for mission60.com, really what we're looking for is we'd love for you, the audience, to buy Deliberate Discomfort, to buy our book, and to tell us what you think, and help us create this revolution, this movement that we're trying to create in the United States.
So Mission 60, is that spelled out, or is there numerals?
So on our website, you can spell it in any way that you want. It all directs you to the same place, MISSION6ZERO, or MISSION, the number 6, ZERO, or
brilliant.
However you want it, all direct to the same website.
Outstanding. That's I'll tell you, I'm excited. I want to continue this relationship, sir. I do, especially. How about closer to or like right after the book launches in February? I'd like to get you back on here.
Consider it done. Our
right.
book launch is February 18th, so plan on it.
And in the meantime, I'm going to contact you via your website or whatever about got to get some PSAs out here. We got a lot of problems in the veteran community, and we got too many people to have that many problems.
I agree. Well said, sir.
Jason Van Camp and his new book out, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you look at it and buy it. Deliberate Discomfort, How U.S. Special Operations Forces Overcome Fear and Dare to Win by Getting Comfortable Being Uncomfortable. Thank you for sharing some time with us, sir.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. You have a good
right.
night.
Thank you, Jason.
You too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we share the mission60.com and warriorrising.org in the chat room.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Oh, man, that's okay. Good interview, man. That was interesting.
That's awesome. I mean, what he's doing to help the veterans transition, because like you said, back in the day, it was like, you're an infantry, all right.
Right.
The police
Jail
department
guard
has these openings, or you can go to the local prison and you get the guard thing. But the warriors in all the services, they're trained and they're up to speed on much more than just being able to put handcuffs on somebody or, operating a taser.
I love the idea about transitioning the op order into a business plan, because I got to tell you, my last 10 years, that's all I did. I did. That's not all I did, but
that makes you comfortable. You understand it, and the same thing with what he's saying with trying to go nationwide with it. They're talking in the same terms, like companies, platoons, squads. A lot of at least in the Army, understand. You understand that. I'm sure the Marine Corps understands that. That sort of structure, because that's where you're going from something that you've spent a certain amount of time. It may be only one tour, 4 years. You may be retiring after 20 plus years. But so to have a liaison, somebody that's went through some of the same things that you've done, embracing the suck for 20 plus years or whatever, and have it brought forward to you and explained in a way that you understand, because civilian life and military life are pretty close to 180 degrees,
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's there are no safe spaces.
No.
In the military. You're out there, man. You screw up and everybody knows. That's just the way it is. But again, good interview. I want to continue that relationship too. I do, man. That's something that's I've been thinking about more and more. How can I help veterans? I went to the VA today even, and I thought that, it's, well, that's another story. I'm not going to bore you with that. But some things that are starting to bubble up here. The Bull Durham criminal investigation has started to zero in on Brennan. I mean, like really, really zero in. I saw him talking tonight, Jack, and it might not have been from tonight. It might have been from a day or two ago. But man, he's nervous. You could hear it in his voice, man. He knows he's getting ready to get strung up.
He's getting it secondhand, because remember, it was either earlier this year or late last year that President Trump revoked his security clearance. So prior to that, he was all smug and happy, and he was always, when he was on the shows, he was talking down his nose towards the president on almost every issue. You know, like
the Attorney General came out with Martha McCallum and basically said, you know, that Durham is zeroing in on Brennan and specifically his communications with Comey. And let me tell you, this is federal prosecution 101. You know, they're talking to these people and they're letting selective information get out. And you know, those of us that have followed this kind of thing know that those leaks, you know who they're directed to? Stroke, Page, all the rest of these mid and low level people. You heard Comey basically saying, well, and McCabe too. McCabe said this, you know, well, you know, the lower level people, we can't, you know, control everything they do. You know what? If you're not Brennan or Clapper or McCabe or some of these high-ranking top guys, if you're involved in this, if you're an FBI agent or a CIA agent and you're involved in this, do you really want to go to prison for John Brennan or James Clapper or Andrew McCabe?
Exactly.
Because that's what you're going to do.
And that's why I think you know, at first maybe people were just upset. It's like they're going to try and have this Kleinsmith, the attorney, low-level guy, take the brunt of it. I'm like, no.
He's probably in Utah. He's in a motel somewhere in Utah, surrounded by guards. Yeah,
he's the guy that said, wait a minute, my name's all over this stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I signed all this stuff.
This is the happy time. This is where it's going to get fun. You know, it really is. I mean, it's not fun, but it's yeah, it is.
No, but I fingers crossed, biting my lip.
I'm nervous as hell. I know,
how many times have we heard the tick tock, it's coming down?
I know.
Too many damn times. I'm going to wait until the perp walk starts happening, you know?
Oh, and it's going to too. I pray to God it is. Now,
it needs to.
Tell me, I'm going to play a clip. And I'm going to, this is One American News Network, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what went through my mind when I listened to this clip. I was like, damn, Brett, talking about Brett Baer. Why couldn't this have been you saying this? You know, you money-hungry son of a bitch. Why couldn't this have been you?
The 5 things the mainstream media refuses to report to you about impeachment. Number 1, the Democrats are trying to lump President Trump together with the 3 other presidents in our nation's history who have faced impeachment: Johnson, Nixon, and Clinton. But actually, this is the first impeachment without a crime. This time around, the Democrats have no proof, no evidence of any crime or wrongdoing. And so the Democrats focus grouped which crime word the voters liked best. And then they accused the president of that. And then the Democrats moved the goalposts to a new crime accusation whenever people got tired of hearing about the old one. Number 2, the founding fathers warned about partisan impeachments just like this. In Federalist Paper number 65, Alexander Hamilton wrote about partisan politicos like Nancy Pelosi and Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff. He wrote, in many cases, impeachment will connect itself with the pre-existing factions and will enlist all their...
Who says opportunity only knocks once? There are thousands of local opportunities on KSL Jobs right now. Nearly 4,000 full-time positions, over 750 part-time possibilities, and hundreds more work-from-home occupations.
Bye-bye, high heels. Hello, slippers.
Visit jobs.ksl.com to see what's available and answer with your application. KSL Jobs. Local opportunities await. Every career path starts with a single step. From a line cook, order up, to a Michelin star chef, bon appetit, a CNA, to a nursing director. Take your next step at jobs.ksl.com. Browse and filter opportunities according to the experience you have, whether you're looking for full or part-time work, and the company perks you want. Apply yourself. Move forward with KSL Jobs. Visit jobs.ksl.com today.
Animosities, partialities, influence, and interest on one side or on the other. And in such cases, there will always be the greatest danger that the decision will be regulated more by the comparative strength of parties than by the real demonstrations of innocence or guilt. In fact, in 1998, Pelosi and Nadler and Biden themselves condemned partisan impeachment just like this. Number 3, Congresswoman AOC admitted that this impeachment is just because the Democrats don't want President Trump to win re-election in 2020. So they're impeaching him to try to damage his reputation in the eyes of the voters. That is the definition of partisan. Number 4, and this builds on the first reason, there is no proof of any crime or any wrongdoing that rises to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors. The allegations of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress revolve around the allegation of quid pro quo. But in the transcript of the phone call between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky, there is no quid pro quo. And the so-called corroborating witnesses actually denied quid pro quo and had no firsthand knowledge of any crime. So the Democrats impeached President Trump based on a second-hand complaint without any proof from an anonymous whistleblower who wasn't even on the phone call himself. That brings us to number 5. The Democrats have now established a dangerous new precedent of guilty until proven innocent in our nation. If a second-hand complaint from an anonymous whistleblower who heard gossip around the water cooler at work can cause a duly elected president to be impeached, Democrats have sacrificed the presumption of innocence until proven guilty on the altar of radical leftist ideology. And who among us now can't be declared guilty by only a frivolous allegation and nothing more? Well, the mainstream media won't tell you those 5 facts about impeachment, so we will. And that is my final point.
Bell ripped a double to the notch. And this one soars out of here. Wow! It leaves the ballpark on the fly. Hello, Allegheny. Josh Bell with the homer. One of the loudest home runs you'll ever see.
That's what you call getting out. Now, that report should have went out over every single network, Jack. That is real news right there. And it makes Fox News sound, all right, come on, I'll get right. It makes Fox News sound like a beclowning outfit. I mean, it's like I can't even take Chris Wallace or Brett Baer or Roberts or any of them. Seriously, they're out here like this is a circus. And this is a real situation right here. Your comments, and then we're going to go to Valerie in Boca Raton. You send it over to her after your comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be short. But OANN, the One American News Network, we've been talking about them since they showed up on the radar. I mean, right now, you know that they're telling the truth because many of the providers of your media, whether it be a cable station or a satellite deliverer, they don't have that in their lineup. So if you don't have them in your neighborhood, call your provider and request One America News Network. Keep the pressure on them.
DirecTV station 347. Go ahead, Valerie. Valerie Z from Boca Raton. Hello.
Hi, Hutch. Hi.
Hello.
Jack, how are you?
Good.
You know, as I listen through all of this, neutralizing stuff, and then we're going to get this one, and we're going to get that one, and they need to do this, and they need to do that, I would love to hear your opinions on who they are. At the end of the day...
The Justice Department.
Okay, so who is the Justice Department, and what would we expect them to do in the event that they find Brennan, Clapper, Comey, all the way down to Hillary, Obama, guilty? What do we actually believe or see happening in front of our eyes? The possibility of real legal action being taken, because I quite frankly feel that they are very busy right now under the rug, like cockroaches, figuring out, okay, how do we hide this? How do we hide that? How do we get rid of this? Right? And it just, we always talk about the realities. We see it, but then we say they. What is they? I'd love to see them do this.
All right, let me say this, because I've thought about this too, at length. I've thought about this, and in our country, everything that is needed to take care of this is already there. But as as we all know, the seat of power, or the crown, if you will, is in Washington, D.C., between Maryland, Northern Virginia, and the small geographic footprint of D.C. And we know that that entire area is there because of the money that we send there. No, not that we send there, that they force us to send there. At the barrel of a gun, by the way, to send there. So we have created, with our money from Minnesota and Boca Raton and everywhere else in the country that they hate, we've sent all their money there. So that's who we're dealing with. Every now and then, we have people that are above that. They come in from outside of that world, and they shake the place up. And Donald Trump has been the biggest person that has done that since Abraham Lincoln came in from Illinois. Now, I don't necessarily expect it to be done, but what I pray happens is something along the lines of the Nuremberg trials after World War II. If you look at what they have done, Valerie, and this is the problem that we have in our current status of nonstop information, nonstop stimulation in any way, shape, or form that you want to get stimulated. If you want to get stimulated by the NFL or by children's books or by whatever there is out there, you can do it 24/7 right at your computer. You can go to your computer and you can get food from all over the world in 10 minutes or less. So everybody is living this real easy life, and maybe they don't even want to put up with what we need to put up with, which is cleaning this all up. And it would take a gargantuan effort to do it properly. But I got to say, if it fails, how much different is the United States government right now, especially when you look at the left and you remember back, and I know that our children are not being taught Western civilization. Sure. TPUSA has a rally going on right now. And there was, I don't even remember who it was. No, I do remember who it was. It was Candace Owens. She asked the crowd, raise your hand if you're taking Western Civ, if you're taking Western civilization. One person in the 5,000-member conservative college student crowd raised his hand. So even our conservative kids aren't even learning why our culture is better than any culture on this planet. Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
Are we waiting for Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham to take hold of this whole thing and say,
they're not gonna.
Okay, we've had enough, and now we're going to take this to the streets and the courts, and we're going to hold these people responsible for what they've done.
Nope, forget about the Senate. Forget about the Senate. Forget about the legislative branch. The only two branches that are going to be able to do anything with this, this was my point. If it doesn't work, if the executive branch and the DOJ and Attorney General Barr cannot muster the wherewithal to fix this, it's up to us. I mean, I was going to say, before I said about the Western civilization thing, you have to know Western civilization before the next thing makes any sense. But when King Edward in England, the left right here in the United States of America right now, the media, the left, colleges, leftist politicians have given God away, and they have replaced God with themselves, and they use a proxy of the planet with the climate change thing. So their religion is climate change. And right now, just like the Anglican Church in England, the King Edward's Church, he was the boss, and this is it. And if you don't believe in this, off with your head. Mm-hmm. And everybody left, or a lot of people left, and we established the 13 colonies or whatever. So there's not a whole lot of difference, in my opinion, between the yoke that King Edward had on the 13 colonies with that and taxation and everything else that went along with it, and gun confiscation, which really started the Revolutionary War, the shooting war, and where we are now. So, in my opinion, if the people that we have, and thank God we have Donald Trump in there right now. I mean, just think if we didn't. Mm-hmm. But if the swamp is too big for Donald Trump to deal with, just as the 13 colonies were too big for George Washington to deal with, you know the answer. We have to do it.
Yes, and I listened to Steve Bannon today on the radio.
He said the same thing. We got to find our AOCs.
He also said, don't be the least bit surprised. Hillary is just waiting for her moment to step in. And it's going to be back on center stage, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump battling it out all over again.
Hillary Clinton won't make it physically. She'll die on the stage.
Yeah, well, we can pray for that, of course, because the rest of the Democratic Party right now is beyond pathetic, beyond ever having an effect on our election. But, you have to look at also how sneaky the Democrat Party is and has become.
Oh, they're horrible.
Right? They're horrible. And right now, Pelosi is figuring out, how can we hold this out until the next election, and then we can just damn Donald Trump with this impeachment sentence.
Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, because you got to focus on what the left is doing. They're using Alinsky tactics. Tell a lie long enough, it becomes a truth. Accuse the other side what you're guilty of, and what right now. When have you ever seen the Speaker of the House, Pelosi, be prayerful, embrace the Constitution, love the United States American flag? Never. But she's wrapped up in it now. She's got the Bible with her, and she's praying for the president.
If you doesn't know how to spell hate, right? And people are believing this, and
you can't. Don't think that.
And this is the tattoo on his forehead now is impeached, and this is what the stupid millennials and younger people. I'm sorry, Sean, if you're listening. I don't mean you, but I mean this is what people will think, and the damage will be done. And we get to the next election, no matter whose stupid idiot is up there on the stage with Donald Trump, it's going to be he was impeached. Because they don't even understand what it is.
Don't worry about that. Don't even worry about that. I mean, anybody who watched this, and another thing I'll say is, don't lose faith in our young.
I know that.
I mean, there's people out there right now down in Palm Beach at the TPUSA rally,
waiting at the airport.
Okay,
they're waiting at the airport down here right now. They're on Southern Boulevard waiting for Donald Trump's plane to come in, and people are all over the streets from the Palm Beach Republican Party waving yay to him 2 days after impeachment. There's a whole crowd of thousands of people out there. I was invited. I was like, I'm driving traffic tonight. That's not happening.
You got to get us some interviews from down there. I'll make you a correspondent in a minute, but because you're a professional.
You have no
already.
idea, Hutch, how I could do that If I had a way to teach people down here, I could be, not Mona, she's in New York City and she's who she is, but I have so much contact with people down here and the Republican Party and the people I support and the big things that I go to. I would love to be able to do that, and I would love to be able to bring people onto the show. And
hey, you got a voice record. You got a voice recorder on your phone. Just do it.
I guess I got to figure that out too.
Oh, it's simple. It's simple. I'll send you a microphone.
Even get people to understand that they just need a platform on their phone to get all these shows. I can't even get that far. And some of these people are doctors and lawyers, and they don't know how to use their phones, and they don't know how to get these online radio shows.
Cold War Radio app. It's free in the App Store.
I know. I have to do it for them when I'm sitting in a meeting listening to Laura Luma or a guest speaker for the night, and I really don't want to do that. I don't want to be busy working everybody's phones. My husband will kill me. He's Italian. He says, I don't want you to.
Capiche.
Anyway, I appreciate your input, and you always make me feel better than I start off listening to the show, and I love the guest we just had on.
I did too, man. What a guy, man. Wow.
He was really inspiring.
But let me just before you leave, let me just say this, because I don't want people to think that I'm some kind of crazy guy. But if you look at our history, I think we're going to go through this winter, and by next summer, we're going to know the lay of the land. We're going to know, but when the weather starts getting nicer, we're going to know where we are, and if it requires us to go to Washington, D.C., can you imagine? I mean, the president, in the 48 hours of the impeachment vote in the House, raised $10 million, 2 days, $10 million of small donations.
Well, don't forget, Pocahontas said it's disgusting that part of our presidency depends on people paying $9,000 for a bottle of wine and having all that money, and we can never elect anybody that has all that money again.
From her, a millionaire.
What kind of nonsense is this?
Let me go. Let's have a beer. She asked her husband, "You want a beer?"
Let's go have a beer.
And the old man looked at her like,
real ladies' man, right?
The old man looked at her like, "Bitch, it's 11:30 in the morning. What are you talking
about?" Pregnant squaw on the campaign trail.
Right? Well, let's all meet up at CPAC. Whoever can get there. This is going to be a great 2020.
There you go. I'm a good deal. I can't wait to meet you guys. Thanks for calling.
I can't wait either. Take care, Hutch.
All right.
Take care.
Z from Boca Raton. Let's swing over to Rico and the cigar and spirits.
Scotch
Central. What's going on?
Yeah. I ran out of bourbon. I'm more of a bourbon guy. Yeah, so I'm.
So am I. I can't mess with Scotch. I like bourbon myself.
Yeah, I just ran out. Hey, what is the one thing that has the pulse of America? And notice it didn't really do anything really bad when he was unimpeached.
Tell us. I don't know.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average.
Okay. Yeah.
10,000 points.
Dude, it didn't blip. It didn't go down. We're not in a crash. It kept going up.
Because
so that tells you.
Yeah. I was talking with this is a year ago, and I was making some financial decisions with my financial guy, right? And we're talking, and I'm deciding where to put this, and I'm not a rich man, but I saved some money over the years, you know what I mean? And I invested it. And let me just go off to a side street first before I go there. Ladies and gentlemen, forget about Social Security. If you're 40 or younger, forget about it. Pretend it's not there. It's a joke. All right? Save your own money. There's a word, and it's called tithe. And you should be tithing to your church, but you should also be tithing to your own frickin' retirement. 10% at least from every paycheck from now on needs to go into the bank, into a 401k, whatever you want to do. Don't look for anybody else to provide for your retirement. You do it your damn self. Now, I know There's a lot of people in the audience. I know the demographics of the audience. The rest of us, do what you got to do. But for the ones coming up behind us, if you expect Social Security to be there, the most communist thing we ever did beside the income tax, thank you, Woodrow Wilson, and thank you, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, for Social Security, the first socialist president. Anyway, so there's that. But now I forgot the main street I was on.
Who says opportunity only knocks once? There are thousands of local opportunities on KSL Jobs right now. Nearly 4,000 full-time positions, over 750 part-time possibilities, and hundreds more work-from-home occupations.
Bye-bye, high heels. Hello, slippers.
Visit jobs.ksl.com to see what's available and answer with your application. KSL Jobs, local opportunities await. Every career path starts with a single step. From a line cook, order up, to a Michelin star chef, bon appetit, a CNA, to a nursing director. Take your next step at jobs.ksl.com. Browse and filter opportunities according to the experience you have, whether you're looking for full or part-time work, and the company perks you want. Apply yourself. Move forward with KSL Jobs. Visit jobs.ksl.com today.
The stock market. So I was talking to my financial advisor, Rico, and, we're talking about this, and I'm thinking about all the different ways we used to talk about this before Trump. But I started talking to him, and I said, this economy is different than the fake George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Clinton, Obama, all the way back to Reagan. It's different. This is a real economy. We're not creating websites. We're not creating, bubbles and different things like that and the hostile takeovers. We're talking about taking real things that you can sell out of the ground and selling them. And then creating the situation, manufacturing always migrates to where the cheap energy is. I know that because I grew up in Pittsburgh. And that's where the money is, where manufacturing is. And manufacturing goes where the cheap energy is, and we are in a boom when it comes to cheap energy. So I'm talking to my banker, and I said, that's real economy. That's not bullshit economy. That's real. I mean, at the end of the day, and I've said this for years, that money is coming up out of the ground, regardless of who's the mayor or who's the governor. That money is coming up. And when I say that, I mean gas and oil and everything else. And it's happening. So Wall Street is basically looking at it like, oh no, America's getting ready to take off. Because it's just God gave us these natural resources, and now we're finally exploiting that. If that makes any sense to you.
It does. It does, man. I think being self-reliant on the sides of energy, and we should be self-reliant on our money as well, as far as the nation's concerned. But there's nothing we can do about that right now. As a matter of fact, by the time I fall off this earth, I bet that number's not going to be 23 trillion. It's going to be probably more to 40 to 45.
There is something that we can do about it, and that is, and a lot of people don't realize this because Americans are very short-sighted. They don't tend to look behind them a lot. They look right in front of them, what's going on today. And to analyze this stuff, you can't do that. You have to look at where we've been and where we're going. And one of the reasons that we are as prosperous as we are today is because the United States economy, and because of that, the United States dollar is the world reserve currency. In other words, everybody on the planet, in order to participate in international markets and international trade, has to do it with United States dollars because nobody's taking a peso. You know what I mean? So Obama comes in here and degrades our currency, which he did. If you remember, our credit rating got jacked in the second year of the Obama administration. It got degraded. It was always number one. And when Obama came in and started making his moves, man, it went down. I forget how far it fell.
Was it TARP 2, cash for clunkers?
Yeah.
The move towards Trans-Pacific Partnership, the move towards globalization, which was they wanted the destruction of the United States.
Donald Trump bitch slapped all that.
Yes.
With the back of his hand and his pimp cane. He bitch slapped it. And now there's no more question about the United States dollar. But that is the most important thing that we can do, is make sure that the United States dollar stays strong. And I don't like talking about economics because people start hanging up.
Yeah.
They don't listen to this show, and I'm all about
I
ratings.
was just saying the Dow Jones has the pulse of America. And as far as I'm concerned, America basically said, we don't give a shit what you did to Donald Trump because it's not true. We understand.
Yeah. I think you're right.
That's basically the gist of the whole Dow Jones Industrial Average, still going up, not a blip.
Yeah, I agree.
Despite
I agree
the
100%.
impeachment, I mean, you look right there. That's response to Phase 1, China-United States agreement, the passage of the USMCA, which, the Democrats are trying to
look what happened
take
the last
credit
time.
for.
Look what happened with Nixon. When Nixon went down and Carter came in, I mean, the stock market tanked. Gas prices went up.
Gas prices, OPEC,
interest rates for check this out. Interest rates for a house were 20%.
Yes.
There was an actual economic indicator invented.
Odd and even days to get fuel for your car.
Yeah, and you know what gangsters like me did? We stole.
You got the coupons.
No, we stole a license plate. So we had 2 license plates, and
So
I'm getting gas whenever. That's just me.
So before I go, I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
I'm picking out a cigar for next Friday. Should I go with an H. Upmann or should I go with a Rocky Patel?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I haven't had one of those in 20 years. I'm going to do that.
They're good.
I'm going to do that.
They're good.
All right, man. It was nice talking to you, man.
You too,
Get Rico a nice cognac.
Cognac.
Yeah. I like my Hennessy XL, but I'm a bourbon fan.
Hey,
my bourbon's Booker's. That's the one
I'm gonna waste a couple minutes here. It's not wasting. I'm gonna give a couple minutes here, Rico. I want to tell you something. I like Jack Daniels, right? Jack Daniels Black. I like that, but it's like $50 a bottle for a half gallon. I'm not buying half pints here now, brother. Let me tell you, I gotta have.
I'm buying Booker's for $80 a bottle.
Right. Well, that's okay. But anyway, so I came up with a system, and I bought 50 pounds of restaurant grade activated charcoal pellets, and I bought. You've seen fluorescent lights, the big long shop lights, the old school ones, not the LED ones, the ones that are like.
Sounds like you're doing some filtration.
Exactly. I have a filtration system in my bar that has a pound of those, of the restaurant grade activated charcoal pellets in a tube mounted on the wall, and with enough room under the tube to put an empty, and it's not a half gallon because America had to try to get like the frickin' Europeans and make it 750 milliliters. So I got one of them empty underneath, and I take the full one and I pour it through, into the funnel, down through the pellets, and then there's another funnel on top of that bottle, that empty bottle, and I do that 4 times. And I take a $16 bottle of Heaven Hill bourbon
I hate that stuff.
and pour it through there, and you wouldn't know it, and you would love it, and you'd be like, oh, man, you have to check this out. it takes the stink right out of your drink. Thanks for calling, Rico. I appreciate it.
We'll talk to you later, brother.
Rico from Kentucky.
In the Hutch's other room, he's got the bathtub gin kicking.
Oh, don't start. Marlene from Eugene, Oregon. Go ahead.
Oh, gosh. I'm cracking up here.
I can't figure anything out for vodka. The only thing I can tell you about vodka, because I know you're from Eastern Europe and everything, I got a bottle of Stolichenko's in the freezer. And every now and then I break that out and take a little nip when it's cold outside.
Yep. Anyway, a little bit of news from our this end of from the left coast. This is on the I posted the link earlier. 2 energy clean ballot initiatives were actually rejected by our Secretary of State. And drawing condemnation from climate
Dead man walking.
action.
Dead man walking.
Yes, no kidding. Condemnation from climate change action advocates. God, I can't talk. Who claim Salerno is bowing to pressure from polluters and business interests. And basically the reason for her rejection was that she thought that there was not enough inclusion of fair labor standards for clean energy products. And
they never stop. They never quit.
No, you're kidding, they don't. The proposed initiatives would require all retail electricity sold in Oregon to come from carbon-free sources by 2045. And I'm kind of going, ha ha ha! I was laughing my head off at that. I thought that was too funny. What a bunch of hypocrites!
Well, the thing is that they're not. It's not. It's getting to the point. You used to think that. All right. So they feel one way, we feel another way, but we'll all get together on Sunday and eat. But anymore, it's not just the Antifa people or the politicians, the actual, and I don't really want to say this because on their side, they say the same thing about the deplorables, but in reality, when you're looking at it, the actual citizens that believe in this garbage are starting to get violent out on the streets. I played that clip on the last show of the citizen journalist that was asking the woman about, the woman came out and said, well, Trump said grab him by the whatever. And the journalist was like, well, was he president when he said that? Can you prove that to me? And she attacked him. Attacked her.
Oh, no.
The actual people out here are so short-circuited. And really what it is, I think what it is, Marlene, is that they're starting to realize this ain't going to work.
Oh, of course, we know it's not going to work. We know,
but they're starting to realize it.
Well, they better.
And they're in denial or whatever.
It's going to work, folks. I know.
It's something.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
Did you hear Nancy Pelosi out there talking lately?
What did I miss?
Run the risk, as some Republicans have said, of looking like you're playing games with impeachment if you hold on to these articles for too long.
I said what I was going to say, Nancy. When we bring the bill, which is, just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time in order to send it over to the Senate and to have the provisions in there to pay for the impeachment. And then the next step, whatever you want to call it, the trial. That is where you put the managers. I was not prepared to put the managers in that bill yet because we don't know the arena that we are in. Frankly, I don't care what the Republicans say. Any other questions? Not on this subject. I've said this is it. I honored Nancy.
Now that was a little doctored, but it wasn't. It was real, and you can go to SteelCityResistance.com on the video page.
Yeah,
and
I'll
you
have to
can
look
see
that
it.
up tomorrow.
Just go right there.
Like
Go to the video
Like
page.
she's drunk.
I think she's losing her faculties.
Oh, that's an understatement.
Did
Boy,
you
is she
hear?
losing her faculties?
Did you hear Clyburn? Oh, James Clyburn.
How long are you willing to wait?
As long as it takes. Even if he doesn't come around to commit into a fair trial, keep those articles here. So keep it as long as it takes. If you know and he's told you what he's going to do, it's almost like let's give him a fair trial and hang him. I mean, it's the verse of that.
As long as it takes. Are you willing to hold the articles indefinitely if Mitch McConnell doesn't concede the points that you're asking him to? Are you suggesting it's possible you will never transmit the articles of impeachment?
If it were me, yes, that's what I'm saying. Let's give him a fair trial and hang him. I mean, it's the verse of that. Let's give him a fair trial and hang him. I mean, it's the verse of that.
I mean, they're becoming unhinged, man.
You don't want to commit a crime and be in Judge Clyburn's court.
Unreal.
No, I don't think so.
We're going to hang him.
We're going to hang him. All right, Marlene, what else is up? I got another caller online. What's going on?
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'll get off because I'll let them.
Did I wear you out?
No, you didn't wear me out. You're cracking me up. And I hope you enjoy. I'm glad you got the borscht recipe. You've also got something else coming.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no, you don't. I was going to tell you in closing, no, you do not have to smash up the beets.
Okay.
Once you start putting it all in there, and yes, you do get broth.
So it's purple.
It's kind of a sort of beet. It's beet colored.
Yeah, purple.
Kind of reddish.
Purple.
Yeah.
Purple.
Purple.
All right, Marlene. Marlene from Eugene, Oregon. Thank you for calling. Merry Christmas.
Good night. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Let's go to Sean from California. Sean, you're on.
Hey, what's up, Hutch and everybody else?
What's going on?
Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. First, the good news. Give everybody a little hope. First thing, the court in Los Angeles, believe it or not in Los Angeles, for an NRA case where they were going to try to blacklist NRA members and supporters, you name it, all that crap that was going on in San Francisco finally spread to the rest of California. Court smacked it down, said, no, that ain't happening. That's a violation of the Second Amendment and First Amendment.
What were the details of the case?
Apparently,
what did they smack down?
The Los Angeles politicians passed an ordinance designed to discourage support for the NRA by forcing people who wanted to do any business with the city to disclose their affiliations with the NRA to city politicians.
All right.
That's where that happened. So the court said that's not happening.
So here comes the bad news now. Wreck everybody's weekend. Go ahead.
Well, in the 50th district, I've been keeping up with one of the candidates who's running for Congress. His name's Carl DeMaio. Pretty good guy. Grassroots, all of that. Is unfortunately is just he's up against a lot. And the Democrats, what they're trying to do, like they do all the time here in California, is they're trying to put it to where it's only Democrats on the ballot. They're trying to push him out of the way.
You guys got that funny primary thing over there, man.
Yeah. It really is a screwed up primary, I'll tell you that right now. It's all rigged, it's all corrupt. It's really, really voter fraud bad down here.
Yeah.
And, I'm not giving up yet. But I will say this, it's just, I don't know how much longer people are going to continue to be ignorant around here because it's just,
But we're getting toward the end of the show, Sean. So, are you ready for Christmas?
Oh, yes, I am.
What's on the menu for Christmas dinner out in California?
Ooh, dinner. Ooh. I have no idea. I haven't come up with a dinner plan, but I do know I have some
Taco Bell or
nephews
something.
coming down. I have some nephews coming down who I gotta entertain somehow. I don't know. I don't really do well with kids, even though I try my best. Like, oh, okay, well, what do you want to do? I don't know.
Take them shooting.
Oh, but I do try to teach him a little bit.
There you go.
I try.
Tell them to call. Tell them to call in the show, man. We'll talk to them.
Taco Bell.
They're like Taco Bell.
All right, Sean. Love you, man. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, peace out, guys. Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Let's go to Ralph in Missouri. What's going on, Ralph? Anchors away, brother.
Roger that. Yeah, on this, the thing with the impeachment, specifically Pelosi, okay, and this is not getting a lot of airtime, even though they're just talking about transferring the indictments over and all that crap. Okay, in the Senate, the Democrats have absolute zero authority or ability, and it would have opened. They could do whatever they want in the Senate. Now, there's two things that can come out of this. One is, as Mitch has already laid down the gauntlet on, is that he could call the Senate, since Pelosi doesn't want to send the indictments over there. She's trying to do the King Solomon number, pacify her base.
Who says opportunity only knocks once? There are thousands of local opportunities on KSL Jobs right now. Nearly 4,000 full-time positions, over 750 part-time possibilities, and hundreds more work-from-home occupations.
Bye-bye, high heels. Hello, slippers.
Visit jobs.ksl.com to see what's available and answer with your application. KSL Jobs. Local opportunities await.
And the screwball Democrats in the Congress, but then you're wide open to your Senate people who are going to dissect your ass right and left, and you're going to look like a blithering idiot. So McConnell could sit there and call the Senate into session, call Roberts over at the Supreme Court, say, come on down, and they sit there and go, okay, here's the case, dismissed because of lack of evidence, end of story, goodbye. And some of these scholars are saying the second part is that it may not even be a legitimate impeachment if that never happens. And then Nancy and them's trying to hang on to this thing and keep talking yang and say, we want a witness list and blah, 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 and it's not going anywhere.
And let me just enlighten the audience to what you're talking about. Basically, what Ralph is saying, and he's right, is that the House is finished. They're over. They're done. There's nothing else the House can do about this. No matter what the fake news tells you, they voted for impeachment, and they're finished. They're done. No matter what they do from now on, the Senate is where the future of this sits right now. And there are a lot of people that are saying Mitch ought to just flush it, which maybe that's a good thing. You know, at first, see, I made a mistake a couple days ago when I started going down the road, because I know Lindsey Graham is a fucking criminal that should be in prison for the rest of his life. I know that. And Mitch McConnell also. Almost every Republican in the Senate should be hanged. If you just look at their bank records and look at where their money comes from. There's no question about that, in my opinion. So why would we even look to the Senate to be a law enforcement agency? They're not. They're a corrupt organization with no term limits that are sucking foreign cash, all 100 of them, I'll bet, if not 90. So why would we look to them for justice? Now, on the other hand, we have a last bastion of hope. We have one more. That's it. And that's A.G. Barr standing alongside Donald J. Trump and a few other individuals with integrity. If they don't, all right, stop that. I hit my iPad. Sorry. Because I'm gesticulating, man. I got Italian in me too. And my hands are starting to fly around over here in the studio. You know what I mean? Now, if the Justice Department can't do it, then that means that me and you got to do it, Ralph. And when I say that, I mean we got to get our kids and our grandkids because we're too damn old. But we got to go there and fix this ourselves. And that's our history. That's the history of the American freaking people. Don't ever forget that. Our country is under siege, and King Edward is telling us that we have to believe in climate change or we're going to prison. And you know what happens when that happens.
You just reminded me of something there, Hutch, when you were talking about that. And remember when I was talking about Amy Klobuchar, the senator, being there with Lindsey Graham and John McCain? I left out one key person that was also in that photograph. It happened to be the Ukraine ambassador, Yovanovitch.
This team is lined up against us.
Yes.
This entire deep state, forget about party affiliation. Freaking Evan McMullen was over there. Kinzinger was over there. You know what I mean? These people are garbage. And I'm talking about Republicans. You're getting no Republican allegiance from me. These Republicans, in my opinion, are the reason why we are where we are. We know the Democrats are communists. We know that. But the Republicans are opportunists and they're parasites. Mitch McConnell, man, look at where Mitch McConnell got his money. Look at where not Ben Sass, where Justin Amash got his money. These people are arrayed against us. And they have an opportunity, Ralph, and I want your opinion on this. They have an opportunity to fix this via Attorney General Barr and President Trump. But Lindsey Graham and John Cornyn and Pat Toomey, they have to go or we're never going to get this right. Your opinion?
Well, yeah, but see, it's like I said, they all gravitate to power. And right now, everything, this is one of the big things that happened here months ago when this whole Russia thing kicked off and all that. The media and everybody was throwing all this stuff at Trump. Oh, he's influenced, he's Putin's butt boy and all this stuff. And everybody's like, on the Republican side, well, hell, I don't know. Maybe it's true. Well, when all this stuff got investigated by 15 Democrat investigators and the Mueller and all that other stuff, that all died. It went away. They could not find anything. Point being is now they're all like, okay, now it's time to jump on the Trump train and be cheerleaders for the commander-in-chief. And as long as they're doing it, you're not going to get 20 guys to vote against them if they do, and Nancy's not going to send the amendments over to the Senate because she's going to look like a blithering idiot. And then she's exposing everybody on the Democrat side to being subpoenaed up there and go, where were you when this happened and blah, blah, blah. That's not even counting Barr coming in there, him and Bull Durham on the investigation with Brennan and all that. And as far as that goes, it's like I've been saying, just like with the second in command at the FBI and all that. He's already been trying to, Andrew McCabe, trying to get a deal and all that. And once you start exciting these suckers, they're going to start squealing like pigs and want to sell out whoever.
Nope, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's going to be interesting to watch. But my point is, anybody who thinks that the Republican Party, at least the Republicans in Congress, let me rephrase that even, the Republicans in the Senate are on our side, you're freaking hallucinating, man.
They're supposed to be the adults in the room, but if you just one person that Hutch mentioned, Lindsey Graham, if you've watched him this past year on how
I'd like
he
to
has
meet
put
him in person in an alley, buddy. I tell you what, me and Lindsey, boy, I'd love to see that. Because I'm the only ones coming out of the alley on that one. I hate to say that. I do. This guy's supposed to be on our side, but it is what it is. Ralph,
I think he's on his side, right?
Yeah, thanks for calling, Ralph. I appreciate it, man. Always good.
All right. Merry Christmas, Ralph.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Absolutely. Wow. All right. Well, I have to do this. Go ahead, do what you got to do, Jack, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the latest this has ever happened on the show. 10 to 10. Your weekly jihad report. 34 jihad attacks. 850 killed. 182 injured. 4 suicide blasts, all occurring in 11 countries. The Religion of Peace atrocity of the week. A mass grave dating back to 2016 has been discovered in Iraq, containing the remains of 643 civilians believed to be victims of the Saklawiya massacre, about 5 kilometers north of Fallujah and Anbar government. Other recent misunderstandings of Islam. On the 18th, in Pakistan, militants attack a polio vaccination drive, killing 2 guards. On the 17th, in Chad, 14 residents of a peaceful fishing village are murdered by Boko Haram. On the 17th, in Afghanistan, 3 women and 2 children are among 10 bus passengers purged by the Taliban. On the 14th, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, 13 women are among 22 farmers brutally slain by ADF. On the 14th, in Afghanistan, a Taliban infiltrator machine guns 24 sleeping Afghan soldiers. And finally, on the 13th, in the DRC, a pregnant woman is among a half dozen murdered by ADF Islamists. The Religion of Peace, ladies and gentlemen, one body at a time.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, that never ends. I'll tell you, it's sad, man. It really is. Breaking news, Parliament approves Brexit. UK leaving European Union before February 2020. Members of Parliament have just voted to overwhelmingly approve Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Brexit plan by a vote of 358 to 234. That's good stuff, Jack. Really good.
Yeah, but I got to raise an eyebrow. It's like, wait a minute. They voted to lead the European Union prior to President Trump winning the election here in 2016. They had, who was it? Theresa May, right? Was the leader that was trying to somehow appease one side while still being involved with the European on the other side. So it's just, and then right now with Steve Bannon's help, it's like, it sounds good, but I want to see what exactly comes from this, because the voters in the UK obviously want their sovereignty back. The European deal, European Union with Brussels telling each country what they can do. They let Greece collapse under the weight of their deal, and Brussels now rules them. It's a mess, and thank goodness the United States has President Trump, because we were headed for that same mess. They were destroying every bit of our wealth and our productivity within the United States to have us succumb to the will of this one world order, and that's just not going to work, because in order for there to be peace around the world, I can be arrogant about that. You need a very strong United States of America, and President Trump is restoring that strength, and he's restoring that power. He's giving the United States citizens the opportunities they deserve, because, hey, I'm sorry to admit it, we are the best country, best constitutional republic on the face of the earth. We are the shining light on the hill, and President Trump is multiplying the size of that flame on that hill. We got a caller that's joined in, and it looks like the president of the VFW is calling. And Rocky from California, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty damn good. I was just wondering, you guys haven't done winners and losers yet either. So,
why? What did that might mean? A little bonus time coming? Little bonus time on Friday night.
I took a poll. I took a poll in the VFW chat, and we got one vote against me giving a safety brief. But I let that person know that this is not a democracy.
This is a dictatorship in the chat room. So, hey, by all means, this is the holiday season, and sometimes folks get carried away. So a safety brief is something that might be of order. So carry on, Mr. President.
Well, if I may, listen up, gents and ladies. If you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. Cover your stump before you pump. You've got my number. Don't call me. Tune. Express.
He told me that. He told me he's the VFW president, and he's the command sergeant major for the Cold War Radio division. And he said he's going to come in and say what he's got to say and check out. And I respect, I respect you for that, Rocky. I respect you for that. That's something that a lot of the audience that are 100% civilian don't understand. But for those of us that have served, every time we left for a holiday or even a weekend, Jack, you know the deal.
Oh, payday activities.
Even a weekend. NCO came out and said, don't do it. Don't do it. And we didn't listen. But good deal, Rocky. Thank you very much for that. That's important stuff. Be careful. Don't go out there and be dumb. You know what I mean?
Celebrate, have fun, eat, drink, be merry, but be safe.
That's right. Now, the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, you've heard of them. They have a new demand. Ladies and gentlemen, our country's in trouble, man. In trouble. They're demanding that feminine hygiene products be placed in men's restrooms in order to alleviate what it claims is menstruation-related discrimination against transgender and non-binary individuals. I'm sorry. I can't take it serious. I can't. I just I look at these people with their freaking purple hair, and I just
what would R. Lee Ermey say? That's how it comes to mind.
Right. All right, let's just. I mean, it's hard to even fathom this, to me anyway. It's let's listen to the Attorney General was on with Martha McCallum the other night and said some things that probably scared a lot of people.
Back as my interview with Attorney General William Barr picks up with how the Trump-Russia probe began.
I mean, with regard to, for example, George Papadopoulos or Carter Page, who were reached out to prior to the official beginning of this investigation, do you believe that there's reason to think that their theories are accurate, that intelligence individuals who were connected internationally, you went overseas to talk to some of them about this, that they were dangling these agents in front of them and dangling information about Hillary Clinton in order to get an in into the Trump campaign?
Well, I don't want to say anything that would suggest that I agree or have concluded that there was any dangling or reach out done before July. But I think Durham, as far as I understand it, is looking into that pre-July period to determine whether or not that narrative got started, the collusion narrative got started before that. There are two questions about the issue of predication. One is, was in fact the comment by Papadopoulos the real predication, or was it a pretext for a pre-existing desire to take a look at the Trump campaign? And he's looking at all of those issues.
You suggested that the conversation that they had, that George Papadopoulos had in the bar about the potential for Hillary's emails coming out was something that was simultaneously being discussed in so many different venues at that time, publicly and privately, that it was really a very thin thread to go on, right?
Right. At the time the comment was made by Papadopoulos that the Russians might have something.
Who says opportunity only knocks once? There are thousands of local opportunities on KSL Jobs right now. Nearly 4,000 full-time positions, over 750 part-time possibilities, and hundreds more work-from-home occupations.
Bye-bye, high heels. Hello, slippers.
Visit jobs.ksl.com to see what's available and answer with your application. KSL Jobs. Local opportunities await. Who says opportunity only knocks once? There are thousands of local opportunities on KSL Jobs right now. Nearly 4,000 full-time positions, over 750 part-time possibilities, and hundreds more work-from-home occupations.
Bye-bye, high heels. Hello, slippers.
Visit jobs.ksl.com to see what's available and answer with your application. KSL Jobs. Local opportunities await.
And that they would drop in the public that was adverse to Hillary. That was rampant during a period of rampant speculation, both in the media and in political circles. And it relates to the fact that a lot of people thought that the Russians had probably hacked into Hillary's, homebrew server, as they call it, and may have had all her emails and therefore be in a position to drop them. So that statement by itself had very little probative value, and I think to leap to the conclusion that it showed knowledge of a later hack into DNC was a pretty aggressive conclusion. I just think that by the time the president entered office, around that time, it was becoming clear that there was no basis to these allegations, not just the dossier falling apart, but the information that they were relying on as to Page and to Papadopoulos. And so the whole thing, was collapsed.
Just to put a bow on the Durham and Comey investigations, if you had been in charge at the FBI at that time and these concerns were brought to you about Papadopoulos, about Page, they were concerned that maybe he was working on the Russian side of the equation? How would you have handled it? What would you have set in motion differently?
Well, as I read the Horowitz report, the three reactions from Attorney General Loretta Lynch, Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, and President Obama appear to have been, well, shouldn't we give him a defensive briefing? And I think that would be the natural impulse for anybody who, was interested in getting to the bottom of things quickly and was skeptical of any notion that President Trump's campaign was, in cahoots with the Russians, and also was concerned about protecting the election. If you're interested in protecting the election, you give a defensive briefing.
And why do you think he didn't do that?
We'll see.
That's part of the Durham investigation.
Yes.
So if John Durham were to come back with a report that says that he doesn't think that there was anything untoward in these other intel agencies, and you don't find the things that you have suggested could be there, is that the end of it? Will we let it lie?
I certainly will rely on John. Let me just say that I didn't know John Durham when I appointed him to the position. I think I had met him in passing when I was saying hello to a whole group of new U.S. attorneys, or at least the first time I met the U.S. attorneys. But I only knew him by reputation as, legendary within the department for his fairness and his, doggedness as a prosecutor. And he was widely supported, bipartisan. He had done work for a number of Democratic U.S. attorneys general, and he was supported by the Democratic senators. So sterling reputation as a fair-minded prosecutor. I didn't know him, but based on his reputation, that's the kind of person I wanted running this, and I'll accept what his conclusions are.
All right, so we're going to see how that all turns out. We're all waiting with bated breath on how this comes out, but we have a former DOJ attorney. His name is, or her name, I think, is Sidney Powell. It's hard to tell with the voice. I'll let you guys decide.
She's defending General Flynn, I believe.
Okay,
she's
that's
his
it.
attorney.
But she, before that, was all in the DOJ. And if you look up this article, it's in the American Thinker about DOJ's high crimes and misdemeanors and attorney Sidney Powell. Let's listen to her quick.
The Hour Just the Way You Like is fresh and independent. Our conversation with Sidney Powell continues. We were just talking about her book now being released in paperback. Sidney, we're also going to feature and link it on our website at BillMartinezLive.com. Licensed to Lie. Sidney, what is it that you want the readers ultimately to take away from your book, bottom line?
I want them to know that if the government wants to put you in prison, you will go to prison. It doesn't matter whether you're innocent or not. They will make up crimes against you. They will indict you. They will search your house. They're willing to make up evidence. They're willing to put pressure on witnesses to say whatever they want them to say. Anything. They will do anything to get you put into prison. We live in far more of a police state than anybody ever wants to think we did. Look at what's happened to Congressman Steve Stockman. I've got his defense fund linked at creepsonamission.com. The same thing has happened to Paul Manafort, to a friend of mine here in Dallas, to lots of other people around the country, and it's happening more and more and more. We have got to get an attorney general who understands the need for criminal justice reform. I hope people will encourage their congressmen to pass the First Step Act. It is not going to let a lot of criminals loose on the streets who don't need to be there. We have been far too harsh in our punishment. And like I said, there are a lot of people that have been sent to prison as a result of wrongful convictions that don't even need to be there.
So, Rico, I'm sure you're still listening. This is our last chance, man. If we don't do this now and we don't understand that it's Nuremberg or bust, and I mean that wholeheartedly, and I also understand the context of our current situation and our populace not really having any pain. See, the communists have set us up brilliantly, because normally for a populace, to step up and change their government or change their current standing, there has to be certain elements. And I've said this for 10 years. As long as I've been on the radio, I've said this, that there will never be a revolution in America because there's too much goddamn food. Poor people in America can get fat. People in America that take my money for their sustainability, for their sustenance, and there's millions in every single Democrat city. In my city right now, I couldn't tell you how many people I'm paying for. But when you have that, when you have enough food to go around for everybody, no matter what the political climate, you have a recipe for peace. Because the people like us are too comfortable. Why would I go outside of my house into the street with fire and do what I got to do? I could just stay home and watch cartoons. Nothing's going to change. But by the
enemies of this nation are using the best attributes of a free constitutional republic against us.
Yes, they are.
Because most folks understand that freedom means you're free to raise your family, to live your life, to pursue your dreams. And as long as you're not infringing on the rights of your neighbor, left, right, behind you, and across the street, you are okay. But when you start letting folks in power gather people that are dependent upon those people in government to give them shelter, food, health care,
iPhones,
they are an army for the people that will take your freedoms away.
That's true. And we're the only thing standing in the way of that.
Yes.
You know, people that are listening to this show, we're the only ones, and we're ridiculed, we're mocked. You start talking about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden in Ukraine. Oh, that's been debunked. You're just conspiracy theories. Ladies and gentlemen, Quid Pro Joe Biden's brother's firm was handed $1.5 billion for an Iraq contract.
Shocked.
But it had to be after Iraq was destroyed. In other words, George W. Bush, because his father, H.W. Bush, failed in his warmongering effort in Desert Storm, because he failed, a total failure. George W. Bush had to take my army into Iraq, and then when he failed, Obama just left. But now Joe Biden's in charge. This is by Jason Jones. With the 2020 election season underway, there's been no shortage of media-driven mudslinging about presidential candidates, as well as scandals, both real and manufactured. It may therefore seem pretty unremarkable that a few journalists have rehashed Democrat frontrunner Joe Biden's reputation for using his political career to turn favors for family members and business partners. But in season and out, my mission is to stand in solidarity with the vulnerable. I'm not going to go through this whole article, but I'm going to tell you that Joe Biden's track record of wheeling and dealing is more than what journalists, congressional investigative bodies, oxygen thieves, and even the president have made of it. How big is it? Imagine, Jack, if President Harry Truman, after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, used his political position to give his own family a multi-billion-dollar contract to rebuild cities in Japan.
Yeah, think about that. Think about that. I mean, it's
almost... Make no mistake, what Joe Biden did in 2011 is hardly less scandalous. It was in June of that year that Hillstone International, a relatively new home building concern, landed a $1.5 billion contract to build homes in Iraq. Vice President
Biden's brother, James Biden.
We ain't going to read the whole thing, but go ahead.
Yeah. But, it just...
No, read it. Good.
Vice President Biden's brother, James Biden, had landed an executive position at Hillstone just months earlier. Oh,
front runner.
Yeah. Where have we heard that lately? To understand just how grave, how corrupt, how unseemly this is, consider the backdrop to Biden's 2011 family deal making. Starting in 2009, just after then Vice President Biden took oversight of the Obama administration's Iraq policy. The vice president was in charge of Iraq's policy in 2009.
After we gave it up. Now this is when people like Jack and me are looking at this, and any of the rest of you that have served in the military that saw people get killed. This is after Obama and Biden just on the fly said, all right, man, we're out.
Told the truth.
And everybody left.
Even our guest, Mr. Van Camp, was one of his duties, one of his accomplishments was he was a trainer of the Iraq and Kurds in Iraq during that time. I mean, we never got to ask him that question, but I'm sure he's probably pissed about that.
You remember back when Doc Petey used to listen to the show, and Rocky was a big part of that conversation, and we had people over there listening to this program. I mean,
the vacuum, and then
no media, and this is where, this is where I have serious contempt for people that I really used to look up to, and one was Brett Baer. I really, it pains me to realize what a fake he is, man. It just does. And I understand. The guy has a job, right? He's got a job. He works for News Corp, and he works for these people, but it's still hard, Jack, for me.
Yeah, it's very hard because he's a hard news guy, right? It's supposed to be a hard news guy.
He used to be. He's not anymore. No, he's no better. He's no better than Lawrence O'Donnell. He's the same.
Right.
In my opinion. I mean, he is misleading the American people, and he's smarter than that. And I know inside himself, I'm just a golfer, and I'm a father, and no, Brett, you blew it, man. I almost shed tears when I think about this. I do. I hate it when somebody loses their integrity like that. It just... maybe it's
sold out, right? Sold out.
Maybe I'm the one that's wrong. I don't know. I just, damn well I'm not wrong.
Well, you have a One America News Network now that you can bounce
off. What I watched
so you
tonight.
Can see it. I mean, it's obvious.
Religiously. Yeah. Special report with Brett Baer was on my schedule. Religiously.
And Sunday.
And Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace, absolutely. And now they've both betrayed me, and I'll never let them forget about it. And the final thing I want to talk about tonight, I've talked about the deterioration of the integrity of the United States military senior flag and general officer corps. We're in a heap of trouble, and we need a purge. The fifth Pentagon official has announced their resignation in 7 days. This is coming after the Afghanistan papers. How'd she say it? Afghanistan papers. The Defense Department senior advisor for international cooperation earlier this week left the Pentagon, making the fifth top official in 7 days to leave or announce their departure. I'm not going into this in depth, but I'm just going to tell you that I was pissed off in 2018 when all those Republicans retired. I'm not mad anymore, Jack.
No, I mean, that was draining the swamp. And I looked through this article, and you look at this.
I did too.
This is a title, Director for International Armaments Cooperation, a.k.a. somebody that was trying to help with the sale of United States arms.
Yeah.
What the hell are they? Why are we paying a salesman to work within the Department of Defense to sell military arms for the military industrial complex? Why are they getting paid by the taxpayers? I don't see why they even exist. Isn't it the job of the contractors themselves?
It's crazy. It's nuts.
Why would I, frown? I think they should be gone to begin with, right?
I agree. And again, I if you look at my profile on Twitter, which I joined in, the hell did I join Twitter? About 2008, something like that, 2009 maybe. I've been around for a while. And my profiles remain the same. I'm a U.S. military advocate and a conservative activist. I love the United States military. I am the United States military. But these people that we have in charge, man, they're part of the deep state, Jack. I'm telling you, and we got to kill them all.
That's the one. That's the one.
Philosophically.
Yeah. How have they? You talk about infecting our complete government. You're talking about what the Democrats chose to bring into the impeachment trial was bureaucrats, unelected.
Right.
Lieutenant
Colonel Vindman comes to mind.
Yes, I mean
some other foreigners.
right there, he should be out of the military right there.
You're damn
for
right.
what he did.
You're damn right. Can you imagine the stuff this guy said about our president? And he's a field grade officer. Yeah. And the Army is too freaking weak to deal with it. And I'll tell you something else. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley, got to go by tomorrow morning. He ought to be out on his ass for coming out and trying to say that the report about the Afghanistan paper, everybody in the United States military knows that Afghanistan was a bullshit rap. We should have never been there. They told you back in 2009 we could never win that. Rudyard Kipling told you in the 1800s we couldn't win there, or early 1900s.
Every career path starts with a single step. From a line cook, order up, to a Michelin star chef, bon appetit, a CNA, to a nursing director. Take your next step at jobs.ksl.com. Browse and filter opportunities according to the experience you have, whether you're looking for full or part-time work, and the company perks you want. Apply yourself. Move forward with KSL Jobs. Visit jobs.ksl.com today.
The fact that I did not have a financial services background, and they felt like that doesn't matter. You have what it takes. You have the will, you have the desire to be successful. What surprised me is just the way your career can be so robust. I hope for a role that would be impactful. I found it at Fidelity, and here I am as an inclusion advisor. I have an opportunity now to bring out the best in people. The world truly needs that right now. I'm Natate, and I found my purpose at Fidelity.
Whenever it was, the Russians showed you we shouldn't be there. And we messed around and spent 20 years. Oh, all right, I'm getting a little upset.
The whole region is the pressure points created by the post-World War Sykes-Picot, UK, France,
and Mark
breaking
Milley,
of the map.
Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, ought to settle down, Hutch. Settle down. Harry Carey comes to mind. Stab yourself, asshole.
Sepulchre.
You know?
Oh,
boy.
But yeah, I mean,
all right. Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you shut down my thought there. But hey,
hold on.
We got to keep our eyes open.
Looking for an alternative place to find news and opinion? How about conversing with fellow patriots? Join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for Cold War Radio. You will find it at www.spreaker.com or in the Spreaker app. Search for Cold War Radio and you will find it. Since I've been listening, I have met some terrific patriots and learned quite a lot about current events that the mainstream media will never tell you. Please come and join us. Be inspired. You will feel right at home in our Spreaker chat room.
All right, now I'm calmed down. Jack, I want to thank you for giving me that extra half hour. It's time for winners and losers. We're all regrouped here. I'm emotionally stable at this point. I'm
starting out with my loser, my last loser before Christmas, and it's an easy one, low-hanging fruit. It's the Democrat Party. Every single one of you that voted to impeach President Donald J. Trump on the flimsiest of an impeachment trial, you'll rue the day. He's going to be acquitted, and he's going to be reelected.
Absolutely.
So, Democrats.
3 more times.
Yeah. My winner, folks, tuned in. If you were tuned in to Cold War Radio Tuesday night for the special report, you might have heard from my winner for this week, and that'd be your host, Hutch Baillie Jr.
Oh, man.
He had the special report, and he read that awesome letter that the president sent to the Speaker of the House. And I joined in. It was a surprise. I was excited, and I was more excited that there was tons of people that tuned in to listen to it on an unscheduled deal. Hutch, you saw the letter, read it, and said, hey, this needs to be read on the air, and you did it, and I commend you for it.
Wow, man, thank you very much, man. I got tingles going up my spine right now. I'm not going to say about the crease in my pants or none of that shit.
Hey.
But I'll tell you, that, no, thank you, man, because that's exactly the way I felt. I don't do extra episodes on a regular basis. That was
a very important letter he wrote.
That's what I felt. I felt it, and it went ballistic on social media. A lot of people listened to that, and it was for the record is basically what it was. It was for the record. I started reading that thing, and I was like, all right, and I said this before, but there might be some new listeners out there. I said, nobody's ever going to remember who the hell Nancy Pelosi or Adam Schiff or any of these. Nobody's going to remember any of them. They're going to die.
That was a blunt force trauma to the wag the dog effort that was going on, because he said this is right here in the permanent presidential record. Right. Folks 100 years from now can read how foolish you were, and
they're never going to remember. They're never going to remember who Pelosi or Schiff or Nadler. Nobody's ever going to remember your ridiculous asses, but everybody around the entire world is going to remember my president, Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of the United States. And when they start studying him, they're going to find my recording.
Yes.
That's the way it is. I agree. Thank you. And your loser. Or did you already give your loser?
Already named as the Democrats.
You did. Yeah, okay. That's right. Okay. So my winners and losers. My winner, and you know I always got to double up. My winners are the cadets and midshipmen of our United States service academies, specifically West Point and Annapolis, because the idiots that tried to say that their little circle game, their OK game, was white supremacist. You know, the whole white supremacist thing is something for fools. Pure fools. Anyway, cadets and midshipmen exonerated, no problem. They were playing another game. My additional winner, Jack, and this might sting. ESPN has ranked Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins the top NHL player of the decade, and I concur. Congratulations, Sidney Crosby. I'm thankful that you selected Pittsburgh.
How many cups did he bring? Two, three?
2 or 3.
Yeah. Oh, he's an awesome player.
He is. He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. And it was interesting to watch the way that Mario Lemieux, who he would unseat in that, not unseat, but put right next to, but in a different era.
Penguins been
mentored
blessed,
him.
You know?
Mentored.
You go from Lemieux to Yager to Crosby. I mean, come on.
I know.
That's pretty good right there.
It is. I'll never forget my brother, my younger brother, who's dead now, but he was in a gentleman's club. But it wasn't a real gentleman's club. It was a ghetto.
It was a ghetto club.
Sleazy gentleman's club. Let me tell you, here in Pittsburgh, when Yager had his 21st birthday, my brother happened to be in the same, all right, don't get offended, folks, happened to be in the same titty bar as Jaromir Jagr. And that was pretty cool. But all right,
he was rumored to say, "I love America."
Yeah. My loser, totally non-political. All right, my loser of the week, Pittsburgh Steelers safety Cameron Kelly fought with police after he was thrown out of a Southside bar early Friday morning when he became irate at the jukebox selection, according to charges filed against him. Kelly, now here is a complete idiot with apparently no father. And I'm only saying that because of his actions, because if this dude had a father, he would have been slapping him upside the head. But Kelly, 23, charged with 2 counts of making terroristic threats and 1 count of resisting arrest.
Terroristic threats on the. Do they even use jukeboxes today?
Court records show that he was arraigned about 4:30 a.m. and released on non-monetary bail. The Steelers released Kelly early Friday afternoon. So this moron's out of a job, 23 years old, out of a job because he didn't have a dad that slapped him in the head and said, you can't treat women like that. I mean to tell you, that is justice. I hope he starves to death. I do. Just like Antonio Brown and all the rest of you Kaepernick idiots that think that you can come in here because you have athletic ability and you can act like a moron. I hope we never see that asshole again. That's just my opinion, man. That's the way it goes. I hope you enjoyed the show, ladies and gentlemen. I did. Did you, Jack?
Oh, I do. I love it. The bonus overtime, too. I mean, that means the folks are tuned in, and we have plenty to share with you. And I always will go for overtime, folks.
I know. That's why I have you on Friday, man, because Friday's that kind of show.
But, hey, you know, before next Friday, we're going to have Christmas. So I hope all of the listeners and all the folks that tune in on the podcast, please have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, Jack, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. How you liking them new digs, man?
Oh, I love it. Although, you know, today was kind of, I had to thaw out. I didn't get a story sent in to you because I was thawing out after trying to catch oysters today. But, woo!
All right,
it gets
so
cold out.
I'll bet, man, and thanks for. I love it because you can hang longer. That's good because I, you know, we did get through all the material though.
Yeah, and it's Friday. You know, this is leading into the weekend, and you know, folks have to deal with the whole week. I have no problem sharing extra time with the folks.
Excellent. So. Merry Christmas, Jack. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for letting us into your life for 2 hours and about 7 minutes. We appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday. We are creeping into Christmas. Let's try to remember what Christmas is. It's about the birth of baby Jesus. We'll be back Monday. God bless everybody. I'm Hutch Baillie Jr., Cold War Radio. Good night.
Sometimes opportunity only knocks once. There are thousands of local opportunities on KSL Jobs right now. Nearly 4,000 full-time positions, over 750 part-time possibilities, and hundreds more work-from-home occupations.
Bye-bye, high heels. Hello, slippers.
Visit jobs.ksl.com to see what's available and answer with your application. KSL Jobs. Local opportunities await.